You smell that, Alex? That's the scent of a Saturday morning where the only thing on the schedule is making a mess and hopefully turning it into something beautiful by sunset. Welcome back to the TigerDen, folks. It's August 1st, 2026, and we are officially in the thick of it.
August already? I'm still recovering from that quick deck repair you talked me into last month. My lower back is currently filing a formal grievance against you.
Well, tell your vertebrae to hold steady, because today we're talking about the gear that actually makes the work feel less like a prison sentence. We've got the mid-year tool breakdown, a real talk about why the automotive world is starving for hands, and how to actually get paid for the stuff you build in your garage.
Which is the dream, right? Actually having a bank account that reflects the amount of sawdust in your hair. But before we get to the money, let's talk about the toys. You've been eyeing that new Milwaukee saw like it's a long-lost relative.
The M18 fuel rear handle. Listen, I used to think weight was a sign of quality. If it didn't feel like you were lugging a boat anchor, it wasn't a real tool. But this thing, they've trimmed the fat without losing the muscle. It's got this line of sight where you aren't craning your neck like a confused heron just to see your mark. It's just elegant power.
Elegant power? You sound like a perfume commercial for contractors. But what about the flex sander? You know I hate sanding. I'd rather watch paint dry while standing on a bed of Legos.
Sanding is the penance we pay for our woodworking sins, Alex. But that Flex 24-volt detail sander, it's a bit of a shapeshifter. You can knock down the rough stuff and then click in the detail attachment for the tight corners without having to go hunting for another tool under a pile of shavings. And that 24-volt system, it doesn't bog down. You know that feeling when a sander hits a hard knot and it sounds like a tired vacuum cleaner? This thing just eats right through it.
Okay, but is the 24-volt thing actually a revolution, or is it just this one goes to 11? Because my 18-volt stuff has been doing just fine for years.
I thought the same thing. I figured it was just marketing folks trying to sell us a bigger number. But when you're boring a 3-inch hole through a masonry wall, you can feel the difference. The 18-volt gives you that, I think I can vibe, but the 24-volt has that get out of my way grunt that stays steady right until the hole is done. It's about torque that doesn't get shy when the going gets tough.
Speaking of things getting tough, we need to talk about the garage, not the home shop, but the professional mechanics. The word on the street is there's a massive shortage, but nobody wants the jobs. What gives?
It's the money, Alex. It's always the money. Look, the old school flat rate system is a relic. It's like telling a writer they only get paid for the words that make it into the final book, not the hours spent researching. If the shop is slow or the parts don't show up, the tech eats the cost.
That sounds like a great way to make sure nobody under 30 ever picks up a wrench.
Exactly. The smart shops are moving to competitive hourly wages because they realized you can't pay a mortgage on potential earnings. But here's the real kicker for anyone listening. Don't just learn how to swap a starter motor. That's 1995 thinking. If you want to write your own ticket in 2026, you need to speak fluent computer.
So less grease under the fingernails, more code on the screen.
It's both. You've got to be a hybrid. If you can diagnose a thermal management fault in an EV battery pack and then turn around and fix a mechanical suspension issue, you're basically a wizard. And wizards get paid very, very well.
Let's pivot to something a little more aesthetic. The Maker Mogul section of the blog is blowing up. People are obsessed with modern heritage, which to me sounds like something a realtor says to make a 100-year-old house sound expensive.
It's actually a great vibe. It's that intersection where your grandfather's craftsmanship meets a clean, minimalist look. Think handmade pottery with sharp, geometric lines, or custom soaps that smell like a cedar forest instead of a candy shop.
I see a lot of people making beautiful stuff, but then they post one grainy photo on Etsy and wonder why it's not selling.
That's the heartbreak right there. In 2026, if you aren't showing the process, you aren't selling the product. People want to see the sparks. They want to see the shavings curling off the plane.
So I have to be a woodworker and a cinematographer?
Just a storyteller, Alex. The data shows makers who post video of the making of see a 40% jump in sales. And for the love of all that is holy, please account for your time. I see so many folks selling a table for the cost of the wood and a 6-pack of beer. You're not a charity, you're a craftsman. Calculate your overhead, add your labor, and then add a margin so you can actually afford to buy that Milwaukee saw we were talking about.
Okay, Tiger, give us the weekend mission. What are we building?
If you've got a slab of white oak and a Saturday, build a bar table. White oak is the king right now. It's got that neutral tone that fits anywhere and it's tough as nails. But if you want something a bit more mad scientist, Try the 2x4 lap steel guitar.
Wait, a guitar made out of a construction stud? Does it actually sound like music or just sad pine?
It sounds hauntingly good. It's the ultimate look what I did project. It proves you don't need a $5,000 piece of koa wood to make something that creates art. It's just a string, a pickup, and a piece of lumber that usually lives inside a wall.
And for the folks who want to stay inside where the AC is?
That Seahawks-inspired home theater project we saw, that's the blueprint. Custom cabinetry that hides all the ugly wires and integrated LEDs that change color based on the game. It's about taking a room that looks like a basement and making it feel like a VIP lounge.
So, what's the big takeaway for today? Between the high-tech batteries and the 2x4 guitars, what's the thread?
I think it's that the tools change and the tech evolves, but the satisfaction of standing back and looking at something you built with your own two hands, that's the only thing that stays exactly the same. Whether you're coding an EV diagnostic or hand sanding a pottery bowl, you're putting yourself into the work.
And hopefully not putting your thumb into the saw.
That is the number one rule of the TigerDen. Keep your digits, keep your pride, and keep building.
Go make something legendary this weekend, guys. We'll be right here when you get back.